Hey, it's your girl Jaymie and your favorite astrologer. Let's talk about the best way for you to accelerate your success in two ways, and it's not what you think. The first thing is Mercury retrograde. Yes, the shit show planet, or the shit show so-called retrograde that people tend to villainize, and the slowest moving sign, Taurus. These two can really help you to accelerate your success, and I'm going to teach you why. And this is an amazing thing because we have Mercury retrograde coming up in Taurus. Now, even though everyone tends to complain about how Mercury retrograde is like this terrible shit show and stuff like that, the thing is, it's actually an astrological hack that's designed to support you. And whenever you have things come up and there's all these issues, it's actually because it's telling you, hey, these are the problem areas that you need to focus on. Mercury is the only planet that supports everyone. But the thing is, Mercury represents collaborating and planning and making improvements and stuff like that. So if that's not something that you prioritize, you're going to start to have issues whenever Mercury is in retrograde. But that only happens about 3 or 4 times a year, about once a season. And this is why I think it's an astrological hack, because it literally matches the habits and behavior that successful entrepreneurs and businesses practice, which is to do quarterly annual reviews. Because so many of us are just on the go, just doing, without actually reflecting on what actually benefits us, what's actually going to support us. And so we could just be doing things on repeat that's not actually beneficial. And if that's something that you do, you're going to have problematic Mercury retrogrades. And not because Mercury retrograde is this shady ass phase, but it's because it's telling you, hey, this is the area that you need to work on. And so it's really great because unlike with other things where, you might actually be engaging with things that are problematic, but you don't have any indicators, with Mercury retrograde, it straight up tells you, hey, this is the problem that you're going to experience in this area of your life. Where you see issues, that's something to work on. Are you dealing with like communication issues? Maybe it's because you need to work on effective communication. Is your computer constantly shutting down? Why is it shutting down? What are you working on that's actually causing these issues? So I want you to look at your Mercury retrograde and look at like when you have issues, if you have issues, what that looks like, and start implementing ways that you can incorporate collaborative support where you can make practical improvements in your day-to-day life. This is going to be something that really helps you to improve your success. Now, the other thing that helps you is the slowest moving planet, Taurus. Now, Taurus is the slowest moving planet because it's the most fixed sign. It's an earth sign and it's a fixed sign and stuff, but it's also about managing your resources. And so this is really great because in order to really become successful, it's so important for you to learn how to manage your resources. And not every chart is designed to really benefit from stability and consistency the way other people the way other people do. Like if you have strong earth in your chart, for example, you're going to have a better relationship with consistency and it's going to benefit you more. Whereas someone like me, I have Uranus in my 6th house of planning. Uranus is the planet of unpredictability, destruction. And so if I don't constantly reinvent myself, if I don't constantly make changes in my day-to-day habits, it starts to act up and I start having health issues because the 6th house also represents your health. And even with that, we all have Taurus in our chart. And there's a certain level of learning how to manage your stability and finances, even with fluctuations, is going to be something that's really beneficial for you. And with Taurus retrograde, with the Mercury retrograding in Taurus, this is an excellent time to really focus on that. So it's something that I highly encourage you to do. But every year, what I recommend is even before Taurus, like one of the best ways to goal set, one of the best ways to experience success is by setting your intentions during winter solstice, which is going to be in December during Capricorn season. Okay, so you start planning for the following year, the year before. So you're properly preparing yourself. So that's something that you want to do. And then I personally don't focus too much on January 1st. It just feels just kind of out of sync, and I just personally don't resonate with it. Some astrologers say that the new year starts in Aries season in March because that's when things are coming alive, things are being reborn for the first time. and whatnot. And Aries is a very initiating energy, so it's a good time to instinctively like start the habits that are and initiate things that are ultimately beneficial, that exude confidence, that's inspiring and bold. And you want to start these things in Aries while you have that momentum, because Aries is an initiating energy, but it's not, and it starts things, but it's not designed to maintain it, whereas Taurus is. So you want to start that habit during Aries season, which we're in right now. And then as we go into the Taurus season, you can start to kind of maintain that habit. And when I say the season, I'm basing this on the sun sign. And this is because even though Saturn is known as the planet of consistency, the sun is actually very consistent. And it's actually more consistent because it rises every day and it descends every night. It sets every night. And so it's literally the most consistent planet. And so this is something that you really want to take advantage and use that energy to your highest benefit. So then when the sun is transiting in Taurus, you want to maintain the habits that you set during Aries. And when you want to accelerate your success, you have to learn to manage your resources successfully. And this is something that's really good because the second house is at the bottom of your chart. It represents the things that support you and your physical body because it sits right below your first house. It's also opposite of your 8th house, which is about other people's resources, and it's ruled by it's home to Scorpio. And Scorpio, I would say, is the planet that has the easiest access to all of the elements because it's really strategic and practical in a very air sort of a way. It's a water sign. It's ruled by Mars, so it's got that fiery element. It's very instinctive. And it's able to, I think, magnetize resources, which is basically drawing on Taurus energy. It's drawing on other people's resources. The better you learn to manage your resources, the better you understand the foundational aspects from the bottom of your chart, from the second house. It's going to be easier for you to use the energy of Scorpio. And so this is just so fundamentally important. And so one of the best ways to accelerate your success is to really take advantage of Mercury retrograde and really learning to connect and use the energy of Taurus properly. This is going to be really beneficial. So I would say, if you want me to make a video on how to best take advantage of Mercury retrograding in all the houses in Taurus, let me know. But for this video, I'm going to do it a little bit differently because I know a lot of people are going to be talking about what Mercury retrograde is going to be doing in different houses. I want to talk about how to take advantage of the Taurus energy. Like when the sun is transiting Taurus, this is a good time to focus on your creative intelligence, what energizes you, your life force energy. Focus on your career, things that you can do to maintain consistency, because you can use the solar consistent energy of the sun with the consistent energy that the sign Taurus offers you. When the moon is transiting Taurus, and this happens pretty often because the moon transits each zodiac sign, it takes about 2.5 days. If you want to experience, for example, more emotional consistency, or try to have more consistency within your home, or just kind of embody consistency as part of your like subconscious habit, a great way of doing this is by taking advantage of when the moon is in Taurus. Like you can look at like the signs and stuff, and it happens regularly. And on these days, maybe you can focus on your emotions. You can focus on cooking. Maybe you can meal prep during these times. You can, kind of check in with your feelings, have a sense of stability, and create that consistency. When Mercury is transiting Taurus, which again, like I said, we have that going on right now, and it's something that we're going to be retrograding. So we'll have some dedicated time to focus on this. You can do some research, study, read books on things that help you with your resources, anything that supports you, which can be the food that supports you. Maybe you can read about the best like nutrition for you, finances, things that support you. But also, particularly for people who are like Pisces or people who have like weak boundaries, your boundaries is something that supports you. Reading books where you can start looking at ways that you can like practice boundaries in a way that ultimately supports you, this is a great time to develop that habit. With Venus in Taurus, this can be a time that you focus on your physical support, things that are healing to you. Whatever that looks like, this can be something that you focus on. You can also focus on your finances, but Venus in Taurus has rulership here, so that's good. But if you tend to be, like, for example, if your natal placement, you have like an impulsive, indulgent Venus or something like that, then this may be a time that you might kind of like get fixated in that. So during Mercury in Taurus, this can be a good time that you find ways to manage your resources that are going to be more sustainable and more beneficial. And this is great because Mercury transits faster than Venus. So if you plan this when Mercury is in Venus, by the time Venus transits Taurus, you can start making better decisions. Now, on the other hand, if you have a hard time taking care of your physical body and doing things that are indulgent and stuff, which I think is starting to become a harder habit for people to do as you like push yourself and you normalize kind of like stressing yourself out, this might be a good time to start getting like massages. Maybe you can do like, maybe you can buy like a package of massages, or find a way to start doing massages on your own, whether it's foot massages using essential oils, doing pressure points, whatever that looks like, incorporating baths, whatever is relaxing for you. This can be even using music or energy healing. When Mars is transiting Taurus, this can be a time where maybe you start exercising. Mars is an initiating, physically active planet, while Taurus is the sign of maintaining. So this can be an excellent time that you start prioritizing doing workouts. And maybe something like strength training over dancing, which is more like movement, more airy and stuff like that. But this can be a time that you do some sort of consistency. And this might be a time that you feel motivated to change your food habits and take the actions that actually ultimately support you. Maybe this can be a way that you take action in managing your finances. Things of that nature, these are things that you can work on. You can also take a look at, let's see, when Jupiter is transiting Taurus. Wherever Jupiter is, the energy expands. So you can focus on knowledge. This can be sort of similar to Mercury, where you can study higher education things, the spiritual aspects of managing your finances. This may even be a better time to focus on your managing your boundaries. This can be even a little bit better for you. So there are these different things that you can do to really sort of use that energy, or like the positive qualities of Taurus if you want to expand on that. If you want to implement more consistency, what's a way that you can do that? What is the higher purpose? Focusing on your spiritual goals and how to manage your finances and how your resources can support you in doing that. This is an excellent way to use that energy. So these are just some examples of how you can use this energy. Right now we do have Uranus transiting in Taurus. And so there's very much this energy of Aquarian support, online community, local community support, support from friends, support from the internet. So maybe take advantage of these resources and also look at like innovative ways to accelerate your success. So for those of you guys who aren't as interested in taking advantage of the energy of Taurus to accelerate your success, which is honestly something that I resonate with, right now, because Uranus, the planet, that's a very fast planet, it's about unpredictability, so it's not like this energy of Taurus that sometimes people might experience as being predictable and stagnant. You can kind of shake things up a little bit. And also, this is a great time to kind of accelerate. Right now with Uranus and Taurus, this is a great time to accelerate your success, because if there are areas of Taurus where you're being stubborn and stagnant and you're not achieving success, Uranus here is going to be able to switch that up. Uranus will destroy what no longer serves you. So if you're finding that there were certain things that was working for you, that was very consistent, that's kind of starting to fall apart, that's Uranus destroying things. And if that's happening, I want you to really take the time to reflect on this during Mercury retrograde, because Mercury is retrograding in Taurus, Uranus is in Taurus. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. But Uranus is also really destructive. It destroys things that are meant to be destroyed so that you can reinvent yourself and you can come up with new ideas. And that's something that Mercury is good at. And because Mercury has so many ideas, because it's highly mentally active, this is why, in part, Mercury also represents death. Because a really good, properly activated Mercury will kill off ideas, because it's constantly coming up with great ideas, a lot of thoughts, there's a lot of mental activities, but that doesn't mean you should implement every thought and idea that you have. And so with keeping that in mind, think about what you need to kill off, what plans, what concepts, what thoughts, what ideas no longer serve you. What are the things that do serve you? How can you implement those things? Do it in a way that's unique and individual right now. So to kind of shake things up, to use that Uranian energy and to use that like support system that you have within your circle, within the internet. All of these resources are available to us, and it's really a matter of using it to really benefit us. And this is an excellent time, especially if you have a hard time in a difficult relationship, with consistency during this Mercury retrograde, to really take advantage of it. Regardless of what house that it's in, this is a great time to focus on Taurus things, food, whatever your resources are, your self-esteem. This is the time to really look at what are some, out of these things, what needs to be worked on, what needs to be improved, how can I support this, what makes me feel secure, what can I do to make this happen. And this is going to be something that is really going to support you, and you really are going to be able to take advantage of that energy, because Taurus is going to be retrograding between 15 degrees and 5 degrees. So that's going to be Decan 1 and Decan 2. If you're not familiar with that, each zodiac sign basically comes in 3 flavors. And I do have a video coming up on that, so keep an eye out for that. And each sign is divided up into 3 sections that are called decans. And these decans, Decan 1 is representative of degrees 0 through 9. Decan 2 represents degrees 10 to 19. And Decan 3 is 20 to 29 degrees. And so they hold the energy of the different signs and the elements. So it's going to start retrograding in Decan 2 when it starts at 15 degrees. And this is going to be more characteristic of the Decan 2 energy, whereas Taurus, and then you're going to be focusing on the Decan 1 energy, which is very much about Taurus. So especially near the end, you really want to be focusing on things that are going to bring you that stability, and think about ways you can maintain it. Also consider ways that you're gonna, like with life, you know, like it's not sustainable and realistic to always be consistent. We're gonna have things that shake things up. Take this time to think about, when shit gets unpredictable, how should I anticipate, how should I respond to it so that I can continue to maintain consistency and manage my resources that's going to lead to success. This is one of the best ways to take advantage of this energy and accelerate your success with this upcoming Mercury retrograde. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope this video helped, and I'll see you soon. Bye.